Did Russell Brand really do it? Guys, today me and Christy Mack are going to react to a 60 minutes video clip on Russell Brand. Christy, you there?
Hey, Nino, I'm here.
Sis, so I'll be getting some blowback on Facebook. I'm gonna be honest with everybody right now. I don't want to be too biased, but I don't stand with Russell Brand. From my investigation, from what I've researched, me and Christy, you know what I'm saying, I can't with a straight face support someone like him. And this party doesn't even have to do with the allegations. That is a part of it. But just looking at this guy's history, and people will sit there and defend his history that he's, you know, turned a whole nother leaf and whatnot. But guys, I deal with our victims, RA, you know, the other rest of the word, and to hear the stories, to deal with these people, and then to have, this is one of the biggest points, is somebody in my family was, you know, I digress. This stuff is no laughing matter. And from the clips I've seen of Russell Brand, him joking about this stuff, I honestly don't understand how a grown man can joke about this. And again, they're going to say this was his past. I understand. But again, as a Christian, conservative, a father, you know, I cannot stand with Russell Brand. And this is even probably before these allegations surfaced. I never really liked the guy, but now the allegations have surfaced. It looks really bad on him. There's already, I believe, 8. And from the research we've done, some sound pretty credible. Now, you can sit there and say the timing and all that is weird. Again, I don't stand with him due to my personal opinion. Of course, innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. This is just my opinion. Christy, give your statement before we watch this video. Go ahead.
No, I just think that it's pretty vile behavior. Have seen the videos that he's put out about the things, you know, that he feels about children, and regardless, at the end of the day, he was a 30-year-old man engaging in activities with 16-year-old children, and I just can't stand for that type of behavior.
And a lot of people sit there and say that in the country that it's legal, guys, it could probably be legal to marry an animal. Does that mean that it's morally correct? You know, right. like I've asked Christy and people in the chat, and when I'm live, if your daughter comes home with a man that's 30 and she's 16, would you approve of that? So with that, y'all, I digress. Long intro, Nino, but let's go ahead and watch this video on 60 minutes and just give a reaction to it. Again, let us know in the comments what you think. And I know this is an unpopular opinion. It's an unpopular stance, especially with the right wingers and the conservative media and the conservative talking heads. But I put my religion, Christianity, before my politics, and that's just all there is to it. Let's get to this.
Shame on those right-winged people that agree with this type of behavior. Shame on them. Just because, you know, somebody says, well, he's moved over to the conservative side, I don't give a flip. That doesn't mean anything that he's done in his past is correct.
Well, the Bible says you reap what you sow. So, you know, not everyone, you're not going to be able to, dodge the outcome. You can't dodge basically God's law. You can't dodge, you know, what you deserve at times. I know some people can, but guys, this is how it is. You reap what you sow. So let's continue.
From famous funny man to loathsome creep, Russell Brand's star couldn't have fallen much further in a week.
These guys really letting them have it though, sis. Let's be honest, but let's continue.
But the reason for his demise couldn't be more serious. It's claimed he's a sexual predator. Brand admits to being promiscuous, but strenuously denies wrongdoing. He says all of his sexual encounters with women have been consensual.
Christy,
on assignment for 60 Minutes,
Christy, do you believe that?
US correspondent Alison Petrowski.
Trying to pause it over here. Christy, do you believe that? Because they keep using that, you know, sticking point or talking point that it was all consensual. Everybody knows about his past. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Compare this guy to Hunter Biden. I believe they're one and the same. You know, Hunter Brand, or you know, you can switch the names there. But do you believe that everything was consensual? Because I'm gonna be honest. If someone's a crackhead or a sex fiend, I wouldn't doubt that they will do things that are illegal. Go ahead.
I just think that too many victims are coming forward. You know, everybody's saying, well, look at the timing. Look at the timing. I don't care the reason. You know, I have always said that from my previous experience and working with little girls that had been abused, that I always take and listen to the victims and take their allegations seriously. You know, it's up to a court of law to decide, but I believe that these people coming forward are telling the truth. And I think that, they feel more comfortable because other people are coming forward.
Let's go.
Reports a very brave Australian woman living in Los Angeles has now joined a growing list of Russell Brand accusers.
She's a hardworking Australian with decades of experience in the TV industry.
I just felt shame and embarrassment, and I can't believe this man did this to me.
We'll call her Rachel. In June 2008, British comedian Russell Brand came to her office. It's a day she'll never forget.
There was somebody in our front atrium who would not stop ringing the bell to the office. So I got up and I started walking around to the front of the office. And I was actually saying, all right, you can stop ringing that bell. I can hear you. Just stop. Just stop ringing the bell.
Accompanied by his entourage, the larger-than-life Lothario was there to record a radio show for the BBC, which shared space in her building.
And when I opened our front office door, there was Russell, by which stage he'd come in along with the 3 other men he was with.
Do you have much of an interaction with him then?
No. I actually didn't know who he was, and I didn't know anything about him.
What happens?
The BBC producer came to meet them, then took them to their radio studio.
It was an ordinary moment in an ordinary working day. But things took a disturbing turn 15 minutes later when Rachel needed medication for a sinus issue.
I went for a walk back through our corridor to make my way into the bathroom, went past the studio where the door was open, where the 4 men were.
So Russell Brand has seen you. You've gone into the bathroom.
I've opened up a cupboard where the first aid kit is kept, along with our medicines. And when I turned around, there was a groin in front of me. What are you doing in here? Like, what are you doing, mate? And he goes, oh, you're a bit all right, aren't you? You're a bit all right. And I thought, oh, okay. And then he goes, I'm going to call you Betty. I'm going to call you Betty. And I went, but that's not my name. He said, I'm going to you. And I went, no, you're not. And he goes, yeah, I am. And I said, no, you're not. And before you know it, his penis was on his hand and he was pretty much serving it to me as he would a dish or as you'd serve someone some food.
Russell Brand pulls his penis out in front of you. He presents it to you.
On his hand.
What did he say to you?
He just kept saying, I'm going to you, I'm going to you. And I thought, what is this man doing? Like, why would he be doing this to me? And then before you know...
Sorry about that, guys. Man, stick a fork in this dude. It's over. Like, Christy, whenever I hear this, right, regardless if you believe it or not, I kind of believe it, to be honest, just hearing her testimony. But when they got you on 60 Minutes telling this kind of story, if you want to believe it's a hit piece or they're out to get him, I mean, guys, I think this guy he's done for it. Yeah, go ahead, sis. Wow.
I didn't
even know about this. I didn't even know about the 60 Minutes clip released yesterday. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I don't understand why Americans are wanting us to so believe in Russell Brand, who's born in the UK anyway. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me, like why so many people are trying to protect this man and why so, as I said in a comment on Instagram, I hope that nobody ever has to have a family member that any of this has happened to and to have the world turn away from them and blame the victim. It's absolutely disgusting. And I just think that this man has the narcissistic behavior that I always talk about. And it feels like he's entitled.
And I want to, in my closing statement, with my final statement on the matter, but y'all, it don't matter if they're on our side, they're truthers, they're against the V. I mean, guys, we all are against certain things like that. I mean, just because you got a MAGA hat on or you're on our side don't mean you're going to get a pass from me. Now, Ben Shapiro and everybody else can sit there and do for this guy. But I'm going to go ahead and count myself out on this one, y'all. I'm not going to defend the guy. Like I said earlier, I never liked him. And all it took for me was to pull up clips of him groping, kissing women, like on live TV. They didn't even know what to do. Him joking about children, joking about the R word and murder. That's all it took for me to sit there and say, I'm not going to defend or take a stand for this kind of person, this degenerate. And they all say the same thing. And that was his past. No. If Hunter Biden did the same thing and in 10 years turn a new leaf, would you want him to get away scot-free? Ask yourself that. But let's continue with this clip, y'all.
There was a loud banging on the door. They were calling for him to come into the studio. And I thought, oh my God, thank God I've been spared this creep. I sat back at my desk and I had to think about what just happened. And I texted the BBC person to say, I was just in the bathroom and Russell Brand shut the door and he showed me his penis and he said, yes, I know he's talking about it on air.
Christy, listening to her talk, I kind of believe her. Like, she doesn't sound like she's an actress or this is like fake. That's just my first opinion. What do you think?
I mean, I agree. And if he was talking about it on air, then, it amazes me that so many people are so against his YouTube being shut down. And we don't believe in censorship in any way. But these same people were all for Kanye getting his bank accounts taken down and all of that for him speaking his truth.
Good point.
You're listening to the Russell Brand radio show. We are in Los Angeles. It is not live. This is
Unbelievably, just seconds into his pre-recorded radio show with fellow comedian Matt Morgan, Brand was bragging about exposing himself to the woman in the bathroom.
Is it muted?
Yeah, it ended up muting. The last thing that I heard was
Yeah, hold
Russell
on.
Brand built
I guess it muted it, y'all, but let's go ahead and read it because I don't know if it can't play it. But that's kind of weird though. Let's continue. He talks about it. Christy, I didn't even know about this clip.
I didn't either.
So what are people gonna say then? That he's lying about it, what he did to this woman? Let's check it out.
Unbelievably, just seconds into his pre-recorded radio show with fellow comedian Matt Morgan, Brand was bragging about exposing himself to the woman in the bathroom.
I don't know why, if the audio's messed up or what with the clip, but it says, I won't be able to drag her off into a cubicle and show her my pubicles. That would never go. 25 minutes since he showed his willy to a lady. Very easy to judge. To her
Russell Brand built a
So I don't know, y'all, if the 60 minutes clip is messed up. It's kind of odd that it's not playing that. I don't know why it's doing that unless it's the actual video, but let's continue, y'all.
Career of his outrageous, hypersexualized persona, trading a well-documented addiction to drugs for a self-proclaimed addiction to sex. And somehow, we all laughed along.
I like them blowjobs, right, where it goes in their neck a little bit. I would never suggest it. I'm not suggesting it. It's their idea.
But the laughing stopped this week when extraordinary allegations of predatory behaviour were made by 4 women on Britain's Channel 4.
He's grabbing at my underwear, pulling it to the side. I'm telling him to get off me and he won't get off. Like holding me up against the wall, pushing himself in me.
He grabbed me and got me on the bed. I was fully clothed and he was naked at this point and he held me down and he was just aggressively trying to, me.
I was like, oh my God, he raped me.
It's only since those accounts emerged that Rachel realised that her own ordeal had been fodder for Russell Brand's radio audience.
So for the longest time, I thought that the audio, what he had said, didn't make the final program, if you would, the final edit of his show.
She was astonished the BBC hadn't vetted it and cut it out.
How am I supposed to ring that little bell with my finger? Have you
Got
ever
told off for
peanuts
ringing a bell.
ever?
Minutes later, he was showing his willy.
Tell me, how did you
There
feel
it
when
is.
you heard that radio broadcast?
Disgusted and ashamed and embarrassed. He was misogynistic. He put me down. It made me sick. But I felt it corroborated my story that
Yeah.
he is a predator. He is a leech. He's not a very nice man. And so in a way,
Christy, he's admitting to it on this clip. And if I can, I'm going to try to find the actual BBC footage and put it in the description. But he's admitting to what he just did to this woman. Is this a lie, ladies and gentlemen? Is this to take him down? This is just in his past. I mean, isn't this some kind of a assault on someone? I mean, showing your private parts, saying that you're going to them. Christy, this is wild.
Goes along with that same behavior I just spoke of. But people
felt
want to look past that because he's changed sides. He's so against certain things. I just
Wow. Let's continue.
it was there and he actually admits to doing it.
He said it on air.
He did say it on air.
To her deep shame and regret, Rachel never made an official complaint about what Russell Brand did in 2008. When she brought it up with friends, they laughed it off.
Kind of jocular, yeah, almost like, oh, that's rather funny, but it is Russell Brand. It's kind of okay.
These were the days.
And that's what I notice about some people, y'all, that they're commenting, because I'm gonna lie, I didn't want to bring this up, but we'll talk about it I'm getting a bunch of blowback on Facebook due to my stance of not backing up this sexual deviant. But somebody told this Christian woman that I know from my city that is a homeschooler standing for against the indoctrination of children at the, when we do our little protest at the city hall and all that, telling her don't lose her, what do you call it? Her sense of humor. Just like this clip just said, is it because a guy's funny? They think they can just get away with these degenerate acts? Like, this ain't funny.
Nothing funny about it. And if you look up comedians, you see that 99% of the routine and the comedy routine that they use is real life experience.
Wow. Again, y'all, just because it's a joke, does he get a pass? I'm telling you, Christy, I was very appalled when I saw somebody tell one of my followers on my Facebook page, don't lose your sense of humor, when she quoted a Bible verse and saw this clip of him joking about the R word, murder, and little children. She's like, this guy's disgusting. And someone said, don't lose your sense of humor. To some people, joking about the R word, children, and murder, that's not a laughing matter. I guess to some people, you can joke about anything. But when you saw the clip of Russell Brand, I had posted it. This guy's saying what's, like the Bible says, what's in his heart is coming out of his mouth. Now, people have a problem saying that now they want to get him. I don't care. I don't care if it's now, 10 years, 20 years, a year after. This dude did the crime. He needs to do the time. Simple as that. Let's continue, y'all.
Before Me Too, when women, particularly those in the entertainment industry, were expected to put up and shut up.
You don't want to be that one that brings this to light, that brings attention to someone's behavior.
Well, I'll be honest. You don't want to be like awkward like that. I can see how women wouldn't want to just stand up and just, say something, especially when this guy's popular and he's a big star and they laugh about it. Her own friends are laughing about it. Like, right, Christy? Like, I could understand how they wouldn't want to like ruin the party, for lack of better words. You know what I mean? Do you understand that, sis?
Yep, I get it. And victims have such a hard time coming forward anyway. And then to be shamed about it, it just makes it so much harder for them to come to the front about it.
And to be honest, I'm a Christian, I'm a conservative, y'all, but I deal with art, with rape victims, I'm gonna be honest, and we do for exploiting missing women and children. I never understood the mindset of a victim like this. And I guess that's why a lot of people that are supposedly on our side are mad at me for not defending Russell Brand, because they just think it's a ploy and it's a way to get him. Maybe it is, but that don't miss the point that he did this stuff. Like, there's a victim, there's victims, multiple, right? And I'm pretty sure there's even more that will never speak out or speak up. But the point is, y'all, this is very serious. And I feel very, very bad for victims now that I'm on this side dealing with victims, women and children, that I'm not playing these games, y'all. I'm not going to sit here and be like Ben Shapiro and all these conservative talking heads and just defending Russell Brand. Oh, he's a changed man. No, I'm not going to play those games. The Bible says you reap what you sow. And this guy is a degenerate. He probably still is, but he's just lying to you to make money on YouTube maybe. But the point is, y'all, I've never had this train of thought or point of view until I started dealing with victims, y'all. Call me what you want. Call me a traitor, or I don't know, Me Too movement. What they've been calling me, they call me a liberal. But guys, where I come from, you don't play with this kind of stuff. This stuff is something that you just do not joke about. And if you do it, you need to be held accountable for it. Let's continue.
I wish I'd had, but I actually thought nobody would have believed what I had to say, and I couldn't be that person to do it.
That's sad.
It's really that simple there. And the shame that I would have brought upon my family, my mum and dad, I just thought, I can't do it. It's pretty embarrassing.
Wow.
Russell Brand's glory days are long gone. In the last few years, he's turned his back on mainstream entertainment to become an alt-right conspiracy theorist and vaccine skeptic. Ahead of the women's allegations being aired.
And there he is, Christy. You can't see, but he's doing yoga. It's kind of like what I said. Everybody said that he's turning a new leaf. I don't hear him talking about Jesus. I don't hear him talking about Muhammad or, any kind of religion, but he sure does do yoga. And if you know the origins of yoga and how wicked it really is, he does yoga, but he's not a Christian.
And he said in March, and everybody wants to claim that he's found God and all this. In March of 2023, there is a news article out about him that he was saying he needs to find God, that, you know, some of his things in the past, you know, he needs help with. So, you know, I don't believe anything he has to say. I don't believe he's found Jesus. I don't believe he's found God. I think he's a degenerate, and people can come for me if they want to about it, but you're not going to make me back down.
And I wasn't going to make this video being so hardcore against him, but I'm not going to lie, y'all. When I see him laughing about this stuff and hearing he admitted to it on the BBC audio, I mean, what he wants to do, y'all, sit there and say, oh, it's a plot against him. Plot against him, yes or no, who cares? The point is the victims. I'm looking at the victims from the victim's standpoint. I'm standing with the victim, okay? If he did this to one woman, shame on him. Multiple, arrest him.
Brand went on the offensive, denying them all and telling his millions of followers on YouTube he was the victim of a witch hunt.
Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always...
And he has a 33, ladies and gentlemen, on his wrist. I believe this guy's a plant, actually. And if you look on TikTok, say what you want, but there's a bunch of videos exposing this guy, a bunch of degenerate clips, and there people have the same train of thought. This guy's a plant. He was part of the elitists, whatever. He still is. They had this over his head. They wanted to get him out. And there it is, y'all. But this guy has 33 on his wrist. What does that tell you?
Transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it.
Yeah, he's right.
Well. And
Christy, he's right. He was too transparent about it, wasn't he? He'd be on the radio show talking about what he was doing to these women.
Yep.
Metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play?
There you go.
3 days later, YouTube suspended advertising on his channel, stopping Brand from making money from the site. What's
now, you know what? You know what I would say? Don't free speech and all. Now, you know what? Good. Take his freaking money away. You don't like that? I don't give a flip. Screw this degenerate. That's how I look at it. You ain't got to like me.
Empire crumbling as the BBC launched its own internal investigation.
We'll look at any complaints made about Russell Brand's conduct during his time, what was known at the time, what was done. So full transparency, we're going to dig into anything that we've got there.
But Rachel wonders why that didn't happen 15 years ago.
I think that's what I'm kind of struggling with right now, is that I think back and I think, no one's ever called me. No one back then. Did they actually listen to it? Did they listen to the output and go, oh my God, Russell has just shown someone his penis in a bathroom, pulled out his willy? They didn't.
Now you know that the audio exists, that it did go to air, that thousands, hundreds of thousands of people heard it, that the BBC heard it, and nothing was ever done about it. How does that make you feel?
Real quick before she answers, that's what everybody says. Why didn't nobody say nothing? Because some things slipped through the cracks, I guess. You know, sometimes I heard the other ones that made the report, the agency, they said that the victim said that they didn't want to go to the authorities because they thought that Russell Brand was too powerful and too big of a celebrity, that he had more power than them. So sometimes this stuff don't get reported. Now, it happening now, again, it might be an agenda, might not be. I don't even care. This guy's a degenerate. He ain't saying nothing new, in my opinion. That's what somebody said in the live or Instagram live earlier. Shout out Rob Lucero out there in Cali. He's not saying nothing new. A lot of us are saying what he's saying about the V's and the elitists and all this. A lot of us are making content like that. But if this guy did these things they're saying he did, he needs to face justice ASAP. Let's continue real quick.
A bit upset, a bit sad. It's sad. Months after the incident, when I was having a coffee in a suburb not so far away from the office, I was leaving with a friend of mine who knew what had happened, and he pulled up with Katy Perry, and he saw me and put his head down and ran off, and she was behind me, to which my friend said, I think he knows. He recognised you and was worried that you may go up to him.
And did you think that he recognised you?
I did.
That interaction sounds very different from the Russell Brand that you had met.
Night and day. Night and day.
Rachel and the other women who have spoken out have endured years of torment and guilt, but they now have a growing sense that truth will win the day.
Wow.
So far, all we've heard from Russell Brand is that he is a victim of conspiracy. Do you buy that?
No.
No, me neither.
I don't know. There's no. These things are happening. There's no conspiracy.
Yeah.
No, he's a liar. He's a predator.
What would you say to those 4 women that have made very serious allegations against Russell Brand? What would be your words to them?
I'm deeply saddened that they had to go through that, but happy that they're brave enough and strong enough to actually confront this elephant in the room and actually do something about it, because I wasn't.
Until now.
Until now.
If this story has raised issues, there's help available. Call 1-800-RESPECT, which is 1-800-737-732. Hello, I'm Tom Steinford. Thank you for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now.
I like that. That's a good show. That's a good clip. And hold on. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do not support or stand with Russell Brand due to, I mean, you ain't even got to do much investigation, y'all. I mean, there's clips online. I done shared it on my Instagram, my Facebook. This guy joking about this stuff, and they keep saying the same crap they did in the past. I don't care. A victim's a victim. A crime is a crime. And watching this, I didn't expect the reaction I would have on this video, Christy. This is appalling. I actually believe the women, or at least this woman in here, and you have to kind of believe her because the audio is there of him playing, joking about it in the studio on the commentary. Go ahead.
People are just going to believe what they want to believe, and I'm not trying to sway anybody either way. I think that people need to take a deep, long look at their own morals and beliefs and what they stand for. And if you stand with this kind of degenerate behavior, then bye. Like I don't even really want you in my circle. Yeah. So that's just all I have to say about him. He's a degenerate. He is a narcissist. He is entitled and felt like he could get away with all this and laugh it off through comedy. And I don't find any of it funny.
And let's be honest, y'all, you want to sit there and say the timing is odd. Maybe it's God's perfect timing. Has anybody thought about that? That maybe it's time for this guy to fall. Maybe he reaped what he sowed, and now it's time for him to answer up for what he did. They keep trying to sit there and say that, you know, that the timing is weird and they're trying to go after him. No, maybe it was time. And people tell me that they're going to quit following me, that I'm a liberal. Guys, I'm not even going to sit here and they said that I was virtue signaling. I don't even know what that means. I basically said that what I do in my town, the sheriff knows me, downtown know me, everybody in my city knows me. I'm an advocate, me and Christy, for, exploited women and children. And that's why I said I cannot with a straight face support someone like Russell Brand. I don't give a flip about YouTube and his whatever, his channel, his point of views. He's a degenerate in my opinion. And I cannot support someone like him with the kind of work I do for missing women, exploited and whatnot, children and women. So again, if this is what it takes for you to unfollow me, then you never were a real follower of me. And not that you need to follow me. I follow Christ, and we should be following Christ. That's the main talking point. But again, this is crazy. And I believe that this man will be further exposed. The Bible says that, your sin will find you out. And this makes me, like I made a post on Facebook, made me really look at myself and say, I need to take heed lest I fall. The Bible says that, right? Basically, instead of, worrying about someone else, you need to worry about yourself. I am doing so. And the Bible also commands us to expose wickedness, and we are doing that. It's very unpopular. People don't like my stance, especially on Facebook. They're mad at me. I've lost hundreds of followers. But Christy, I said it on Instagram Live before I came on to do this video. I would rather lose and be with Jesus than gain the world, right? It's basically what Jesus said. What would it profit a man to lose his soul to gain the whole world? I would rather be alone with Jesus and my morals than sit here and defend a pervert like Russell Brand. Final words, go ahead.
No, you said it all. I completely agree. I'd rather die with some morals and ethics and all that and be alone than stand with anybody that stands with this type of degeneracy. And everybody has to answer on Judgment Day.
Amen. Let us know in the comments what you think, y'all. Support free speech and opinion. Say what you want. You're an American. You're a patriot. You got grit. Act like it. We're out.